Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to our next and final lesson. Are you ready? This is it. So you got to be strong for this one. This is our last week. Remember, keep your body strong. We got to get this English, get this learning deep into your body, not just your brain. So I want you moving. I want you smiling. I want those shoulders back. I want you to use all the tools for this one, okay? Let's go. This one is called Tribes. This comes from a book called Tribes by Seth Godin. So Seth Godin, again, a different book. And in this book, Seth Godin talks about modern tribes. What's a tribe? A tribe is basically a family, a big, extended family. So it's not just a mother and father and sister, brother. Not just grandparents. It's really a whole collection of families that are connected together. So a collection of families that create one big group called a tribe. Of course, there's sort of an old historical meaning to this. We talk about Native American tribes, African tribes, but there's also a modern meaning, and that's what Seth Godin is writing about. He's writing about modern tribes. Now, a modern tribe is not based on family. It's just a group of people that are connected by some common purpose, some common meaning. And of course, the internet makes it possible for us to have international tribes. We can connect with people all over the world who share the same purpose, the same meaning, or similar purposes, similar meanings as ourselves. Seth Godin, again, is a business writer. So he writes a lot about this phenomenon, this experience of tribes on the internet from a business perspective. But really, it's also a phenomenon, an experience that is very general. People are connecting with each other all over the world for learning, for social purposes, for dating, for business, of course, for many different purposes. And at Effortless English, this is one of my big goals for Effortless English, is to create a tribe of enthusiastic, passionate, positive English learners. And really more than just English learners. The meaning of Effortless English, the purpose of Effortless English, is not just learning English. Have you noticed? It's about living better lives, happier lives, more passionate lives, more energetic lives, healthier lives. We're just using English to connect with each other. We're using English to find other people who want these same things, so we can encourage each other, so we can learn together. English is our tool. It's the way we can all share together. Doesn't matter if we're from the United States or from Mexico or from somewhere in South America or from Spain or Germany or Japan or Thailand, anywhere in the world. We can share together. We can connect using English as our tool. English is not our final purpose. It is not the final meaning or purpose of our tribe. So let me read a little bit from Seth Godin's book, Tribes, which is an excellent book, by the way, and then I'll talk more about it. So here we go. The opportunity. It's simple. There are tribes everywhere now. Inside and outside of organizations. In public and in private. In nonprofits, in classrooms, across the planet. Every one of these tribes is yearning for leadership and connection. This is an opportunity for you. An opportunity to find or assemble a tribe and lead it. The question isn't, is it possible for me to do this? Now the question is, will I choose to do it? For a long time, I've been writing about the fact that everyone is now a connector, a member. The explosion in media channels, combined with the increased leverage of individuals within organizations, means that just about anyone can influence just about anyone else. This book says something new, something even better, more exciting. Everyone is not just a connector, not just a member. Everyone is now a leader. The explosion in tribes, groups, and circles of interests means that anyone who wants to make a difference can. Without leaders, there are no followers. You're a leader. We need you. Something to believe in. Tribes are about faith. They are about something to believe in. Tribes are about belief in an idea and in a community. And they are grounded in respect and admiration for the leader of the tribe and for the other members as well. Do you believe in what you do every day? It turns out that belief happens to be a brilliant strategy. Okay, that's a nice, interesting section from Seth Godin's book, Tribes. And what I like about this is that phrase, that everyone is now a leader. And I want you to think about that. Everyone is now a leader. We're all members too, but we're also all leaders. And I want you to be a leader in our Effortless English Club. I want you to be a leader. I want you to inspire and help other people, not just yourself. For example, we have excellent leaders already in our club. Many of the mini stories in these lessons have characters with names of Effortless English leaders. For example, Inka. Inka is one of our fantastic leaders. She is from the Czech Republic, I believe, and she is just amazing. She's always helping other members in our club. She's always answering their questions. She's always encouraging them. She is a true leader. There's Big Jan, who's another one of our fantastic leaders. There's Vanilla. There's so many great leaders in our group, and I want you to be one of them. Since you have finished all of these lessons, I know that you have a very good level of English. And I know that you can now very easily go onto our forums or our master member site or both, and you can be a leader now. You have done something amazing. You completed all of these lessons. You did all of the mini stories. Your English ability has increased and improved so quickly, so well. I know you can do it. So I want you to get on those forums. I want you to get on the master member site, and I want you to communicate with our other members. Help them, because some of those people are just starting. And maybe like you, maybe they have some doubts. Maybe they have some worries. And maybe they need someone to encourage them. Maybe they need someone to say something kind to them or nice to them. Maybe they need someone to help them feel stronger and more confident. Or to show them an example of leadership. You can do that now. So please, now is the time where you can share, you can give to other people now. You can now be the teacher. And that is my true purpose in the Effortless English Club. Not to be the big leader and the big teacher, just me, but to create more teachers, more leaders. I want you to do that now. I want you to feel that same happiness and gift when you help another person. when you help them feel better, feel stronger, feel happier. So please get on our forums, join our master member site, and do that for someone else now. Just a kind word, just a little encouragement. Just answer one question. You'll make a big difference for someone else. You'll help someone else. I hope you'll do it. So now is the time for the final step. The final step is to use everything you have learned. Number one, that means to use the actual English you have learned. The vocabulary, your new speaking ability, all of that. And that means connecting with people and speaking to them and writing to them. It means real communication, not just studying. You can't just be a student only. You've got to get out there and use it. Well, you can do that now. You've completed all these lessons. You now have the ability. You probably already had the ability before. You definitely have the ability now. So get on Skype and talk to other members. Get on the forums, find somebody, make an appointment with them, talk to them on Skype. Or talk to them on the phone. Or just get on the forums and write in English. Write your story, write about your emotions. Help other people. Connect. Use it. And the second thing you must do, this final step, is to lead, as I've been saying. And I'm going to say it again. Your last and final step is to share the strength, the confidence, the ability you now have with other people. Inspire them. Lead them. You're a leader. We need you. Okay, I will see you next time. I will see you on the Master Member site where I'll be giving you videos every month. I'll see you on the forums. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to these lessons. I hope you have grown happier, stronger, and of course, I hope you've become a much more confident English speaker. It's been my privilege and my honor to teach you and to help you. Thank you so much. And I will see you again. Bye-bye. Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to the mini story for tribes. Our last mini story for these lessons. But don't worry, I'll make more lessons in the future. But for now, our last mini story. So in this mini story, what are you going to do? You are going to use your body, your voice, stronger than ever before. This is the last one, so I want you to use it all. When you answer, I want you to yell your answers. I want you to move your arms and your hands. I want you to move your face. Make crazy faces for this story. I want you to use your body. Shoulders back, of course. Breathing deeply, of course. Moving, of course. Jump. Shout. Move. This is it, the last one. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's begin. Tony hated his life. He worked in an office every day. Who hated his life? Tony. Tony hated his life. He hated his what? He hated his life. Did he hate his wife? No, not his wife. His life. Tony hated his life. What did Tony do? How did Tony feel? Well, he hated his life. Every day, what did Tony do? Worked in an office. Every day, Tony worked in an office. Where did Tony work? In an office. Every day, he worked in an office. What did he do in the office? He worked. He worked in an office. And how often did he work in an office? Every day. Did Tony work on Saturday? Yes, he did. He worked every day. He worked on Saturday. He worked on Sunday, 7 days a week. He worked every day. Did he love it? Oh no, hell no. He didn't love it. He hated it. Tony hated his job. Tony hated his life. In fact, Tony yearned to make a difference. What did he want? He wanted to make a difference. He wanted to help people. He wanted to improve people's lives. He wanted to make a difference. Did he want to help people or did he want to hurt people? Well, he wanted to help people. He wanted to make a difference. Who wanted to make a difference? Tony, of course. Tony wanted to make a difference. He wanted to help people. Did he want to make a difference or did he want to do nothing? Obviously, he wanted to make a difference. Tony wanted to make a difference. In fact, Tony yearned to make a difference. Did he want to make a difference a little? Or did he really want to make a difference? He really, really wanted to make a difference. He yearned to make a difference. What did he yearn to do? He yearned to make a difference. Did he yearn to make a difference? Or did he not yearn to make a difference? Well, that's easy. He yearned. He yearned to make a difference. He wanted to make a difference. He desired to make a difference, to help. Who yearned to make a difference? Tony yearned, and he yearned, and he yearned to make a difference. Did AJ yearn to make a difference? No, not AJ. AJ was an asshole. But Tony yearned to make a difference. He really, really wanted to make a difference. He yearned to make a difference. Did AJ yearn to make a difference, or did Tony yearn to make a difference? Tony yearned to make a difference. He really wanted to make a difference. And AJ? No. He didn't want to make a difference. He didn't want to help. He was selfish. He didn't care. AJ did not yearn to make a difference. But Tony did. He yearned to make a difference, so first he went to Africa. And he thought, I will make people happy. What did he want to do? He wanted to make people happy. How did he try to make people happy? What did he do in Africa? Well, of course, obviously, he gave golf clubs to tribes in Rwanda. Of course. What did he do? He gave golf clubs to tribes in Rwanda, to poor tribes in Rwanda. Who did he give golf clubs to? He gave golf clubs to tribes in Rwanda. Where? In Rwanda, the country of Rwanda, which is in Africa. Who gave golf clubs and golf balls to tribes in Rwanda? Tony did. Tony gave golf clubs to tribes in Rwanda. Why? Why did he give golf clubs and golf balls to tribes in Rwanda? Well, to make them happy, of course. He gave golf clubs and golf balls to tribes in Rwanda to make them happy. Oh, that's very nice. What kind of tribes did he give golf clubs and golf balls to? What kind of tribes? Poor tribes. Poor tribes in Rwanda. He gave golf clubs and golf balls to poor tribes in Rwanda. Poor groups of people in Rwanda. To make them happy. Were the people in the poor tribes happy when they got the golf clubs and the golf balls? Were they happy when Tony gave them the golf clubs and the golf balls? No, they weren't. They were not happy. In fact, they got angry. They said, "We don't need these damn golf clubs. We don't play golf. We don't like golf. Go away." Oh no, poor Tony. Poor Tony, poor Tony. He was very sad. How did the people in the tribes in Rwanda feel about the golf clubs? How did they feel? They were angry. They were angry. They didn't like golf. They were angry. They said, "Go away," to Tony. How did Tony feel? Tony was sad. Tony was sad. He wanted to help, but the people in Rwanda, the tribes in Rwanda, all got angry. They were angry with Tony. Who were they angry with? Who were they angry at? Well, they were angry with Tony. They were angry at Tony. Why were they angry at Tony? Well, because they didn't like golf. Obviously, the people in the tribes in Rwanda didn't like golf, so they were angry at Tony. They said, "Go away!" So, Tony left Africa. And he went to New York City. And next, he tried to help homeless people in New York City. But he thought, I need to help them learn. I need to help them go to school and make their lives better. So Tony tried to get leverage on the homeless people. He said, "I'll give you food if you go to school." He said, "I'll give you food if you go to school." Who did he say this to? He said it to homeless people in New York City. What did he say to homeless people in New York City? He said, I'll give you food if you go to school. Why did Tony say, I'll give you food if, only if, you go to school? Why? Because he wanted to get leverage on the homeless people. He wanted to get leverage on them. He wanted to get what? Leverage. He wanted to get leverage on the homeless people. Or over the homeless people. He wanted to get power over them. Or power to influence them. Power to change them. He wanted power over them. He wanted to get leverage over them. He wanted to push them to go to school. He wanted to have power to change them. So Tony tried to get leverage on them by giving food only if they went to school. What was Tony's leverage? What was Tony's power over the homeless people? Food. Food was his power, his way of power, his means of power. Was food leverage, using it as a noun now, was food leverage, was it power for Tony? Yes, it was. It was power over the homeless people. Food was leverage for Tony. Food gave Tony power over the homeless people. Did Tony try to get leverage on the homeless people? Over the homeless people? Yes, he did. He tried to get leverage over them. He tried to force them. He tried to push them to go to school. What did Tony try to get on the homeless people? Leverage. Tony tried to get leverage on the homeless people. How? How did Tony try to get leverage on the homeless people? Well, by giving them food, or with food. Tony tried to get leverage with food. He said, I'll give you food, but only if you go to school. Food was Tony's leverage. What was his leverage? Food. Food was his leverage. Whose leverage was food? Well, it was Tony's leverage. It was Tony's power over the homeless people, or on the homeless people. And so, Tony tried to get leverage on the homeless people by saying, I'll give you food if, only if, you go to school. Were the homeless people happy with Tony? No, they were not. They were very angry. They said, go away, you asshole. Oh, how did they feel about Tony? They were angry, very angry. They said, go away, you asshole. Oh, did they like Tony? No, obviously, they did not like Tony. They called him an asshole, a jerk, a bad person. Why were they angry with Tony? Well, because he tried to get leverage over them. He tried to have power over them. Tony tried to get leverage with food. And the homeless people were very, very, very angry. They yelled at Tony. They said, go away, you asshole! How did Tony feel? Ah, poor Tony. He was sad again. He just wanted to help. So he left New York. And finally, one day, he realized, aha! He realized that he must ground his efforts to help in love. He realized that he must ground his efforts in love. He realized that he must ground his efforts in what? In love. He must begin with the feeling of love. He must start his efforts. He must start his ideas to help people with love. He realized, I must start with love. I must ground my efforts in love. He must ground his what in love? His efforts to help people, his attempts to help people. He realized that he must ground them in love. Start his efforts with love. Begin with love. Always stay connected to love first. He realized that love was most important. It must come first. Who realized that he had to ground his efforts in love? Tony did, of course. Tony realized, aha, I must ground my efforts in love. He realized that he must ground his efforts in love. He had to what? His efforts in love? Ground. He realized that he must ground his efforts in love. Connect and begin his efforts in love, with love. And so he realized, I must ground my efforts in love. I must start with love. I must always have love first. And so he decided to connect orphans with new parents. An orphan is a child with no parents, no father, no mother, no family. So an orphan is a child that has no family, all alone. And Tony decided, I will help orphans. I will connect orphans with new parents. I will find parents, fathers and mothers, for orphans. Tony decided to connect orphans with new parents. How did Tony feel when he helped the orphans? How did he feel? Well, he felt love, right? His efforts were grounded in love. He felt love when he was helping. When he helped the tribes in Africa, when he tried to help the tribes in Africa, were his efforts grounded in love? No, they weren't. He was not thinking about love. He was not feeling love when he gave the golf clubs and the golf balls. When he tried to help the homeless people, were his efforts grounded in love? Did he begin with love? Did he feel love all the time? No, his efforts were not grounded in love with the homeless people. But when he helped the orphans find new parents, were his efforts grounded in love? Yes, they were. When he helped the orphans and the new parents, his efforts were grounded in love. He started first with the feeling of love, then he helped. And of course, Tony and the children and the new parents were all very, very happy. And that is the end of our final mini-story for these lessons. I hope you have enjoyed all of the mini-stories. I hope you've laughed during the mini-stories. You probably realize they're not supposed to be serious. So you should be smiling when you listen to these mini-stories. You should be shouting your answers. You should be moving your arms and your hands like a crazy person. You should be jumping, moving your body, shoulders back, moving your face. All of this helps you learn more deeply. If you stand quietly and you don't move, you just listen passively, you don't learn deeply. There's a reason I'm shouting. There's a reason I'm jumping right now as I tell you this story. There's a reason the stories are crazy and funny and strange. It's because all of these things help you remember and learn more deeply. The more you use your body while learning, the faster you learn. If you use your body a lot and your voice strongly a lot, you learn faster. You'll speak better. So please, when you review all the old lessons you've done already, when you listen to this one again, when you listen to any English, anything, always remember, use your body, use your energy, use that big smile, use your eyes big and open, jump, shout, and enjoy it. You'll have more fun, and you'll learn so much faster. I will see you again. I hope to see you on the Master Member site, where I can connect with you through video. You can see my face. You can see my eyes. You'll see that I move a lot when I speak. So I'll see you on the Master Member site. I will see you on the forums. I've had a great time with these lessons. I hope you have enjoyed them too. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to the Point of View Stories for Tribes, our final Point of View Stories. And you know what to do. You got to move that body, especially with the mini stories and the Point of View stories. You will get this grammar, and that's what the Point of View stories teach. They teach grammar. You will get it into your body if you move with the stories. If you really move your body and smile and all these crazy things I tell you to do, it will help you learn the grammar faster, better, and more deeply. You have to trust me about that, so please do it. Do it whenever you review the other lessons. Do it with this lesson. Do it with any lesson, anytime you're listening to English. Let's begin. Since 5 years ago, Tony has hated his life. 5 years ago, Tony got a new office job. Since then, he has hated his life. Since then, he has worked in an office every day. Has he worked on Saturdays and Sundays? Oh yeah, he's worked on Saturdays and he has worked on Sundays. He has worked every day since 5 years ago, since he got his new office job. And since then, how has he felt about his life and his job? Well, he has hated his life. He has hated his job. Since that time, he has hated everything. He has been miserable. He has been unhappy. Since when has Tony been unhappy? Since 5 years ago. What happened 5 years ago? He got a new job. He got a new job, and since then, he has been very, very unhappy. Has he been unhappy from then until recently? That's right, he has been unhappy. Since then, until recently, during the whole time, he has been unhappy. During that whole time, he has hated his life. He has hated his job. In fact, for all of his life, he has yearned to make a difference. Since he was a small child, Tony has yearned to make a difference. Since when has he yearned to make a difference? Well, since he was a child. Beginning when he was a child, continuing all his life until now. He has yearned to make a difference. What has he yearned to do? He has yearned to make a difference. And who has yearned to make a difference? Tony, of course. Tony has yearned to make a difference. But unfortunately, 5 years ago, he got a terrible job. And since 5 years ago, he has hated his life. Since 5 years ago, he has worked in an office every day, and he has hated his job. Finally, one day, he quit his job, and he went to Africa. He wanted to help tribes in Africa. In fact, he wanted to help tribes in Rwanda. So, of course, obviously, naturally, he gave golf clubs and golf balls to poor tribes in Africa, in Rwanda. But no one wanted the golf clubs. No one in the poor tribes wanted the golf balls. In fact, they got very, very angry. They said, "Go away! We don't want these golf clubs. We hate golf." Poor Tony. Tony was sad. Well, he still wanted to make a difference. So next, he went to New York City. He decided to help homeless people. But he tried to get leverage on the homeless people. He tried to get power over them. He tried to get leverage on the homeless people by saying, "I'll give you food if, only if, you go to school." Well, the homeless people also got angry. They said, "Go away, you asshole!" Poor Tony. He was sad again. But then one day he finally realized, he realized that he must ground his efforts to help in love. He realized, I must ground my efforts in love. I must begin with love. And so he helped orphans. He helped connect orphans with new parents. And he grounded his efforts in love. He began with the feeling of love. And he always felt the feeling of love while helping them. Because of this, Tony, the children, and the parents were all very, very happy. All right, into the future. I have this idea. I have this idea for a story, and it will happen in the future. There will be a guy. His name will be Tony. A big, tall guy named Tony. But unfortunately, Tony's gonna hate his life. He'll hate it. Why? Well, because he's gonna work in an office every day. I mean, he will work every day. He'll work on Saturdays. He'll work on Sundays. He'll always work every day. And he'll hate it. He'll hate his job. He'll hate his life. And Tony will yearn to make a difference. In fact, he'll have always wanted to make a difference. It's something that will have always been something he wanted. Since he was a child, he'll have wanted to do this. So he'll yearn to make a difference, but he'll hate his life. Well, one day he will finally quit his job and he'll go to Africa. And of course, he'll decide to give golf clubs and golf balls to poor tribes in Rwanda, to people in poor tribes in Rwanda. He'll give the golf clubs and the golf balls to the poor tribes people in Rwanda. But they're not gonna be happy. They're gonna be angry with Tony. They'll yell, "Go away! We hate golf!" And Tony will be very, very sad. He'll be super sad. Poor Tony. But he'll still want to make a difference. So, next he'll go to New York City. He'll decide to help homeless people. But there's a problem, because he's going to try to get leverage on them. He'll say to them, "I'll give you food, but only if you go to school." And the homeless people will be angry with him too. They're going to get really angry. They'll say, "Go away, you asshole." And Tony will be really, really sad. He'll be so sad because he just wants to help. Well, finally, he'll realize that he must ground his efforts in love. He'll realize, I must ground my efforts in love. And so next, he'll help connect orphans with new parents. And he'll feel love when he does this. He'll always feel love. He'll begin with love and he'll continue to feel love while he helps the orphans and the new parents. And because of this, Tony and the children and the parents are all gonna be very, very happy. And that is the end of our point of view stories for tribes. It's the end of our lessons. Yeah! So next we have a few commentaries. You can listen to those. It's just me talking and you'll have some text. No lessons, just some talking about some topics. But basically you are finished with the lessons. Yeah! Remember, listen to these lessons every day for at least 1 week, 7 days. More is fine. Remember to move your body and smile and jump and shout while you do it. Remember to always enjoy your English learning. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. These lessons are sold only on our website, effortlessenglishclub.com. If you bought these lessons somewhere else, you have an illegal copy. Please notify us, and we will take immediate legal action against the seller. Thank you.